Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to take a look at the Unity Command Line Interface, or CLI, and it is an experimental project that's a standalone command line tool for installing and managing Unity editors and modules from a terminal. It's distributed as its own binary that you can install, update, and use independently of the Unity Hub. According to the documentation, it's well suited for continuous integration and build agents, scripting and automation that needs structured output, users who prefer a terminal-first workflow for everyday hub tasks. And to use it to control the Unity editor, you have to set up this Unity pipeline package. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And here it says that the pipeline package controls the Unity editor remotely through an HTTP API and can automate testing and development workflows and execute custom commands. So to get started, you have to install the Unity editor, which I've done, and the Unity CLI. On this page, there's another preamble about what the CLI is used for. So further down in the command line interface instructions, I've got some command lines to run for Windows or Mac or Linux. In my case, I'm on Windows, so I'll open up PowerShell here, and then I'll copy this command. And it just says to get started, use Unity to show available commands with the help flag here. Unity editors list will list installed editors, Unity install, or Unity upgrade. And then I'll just restart my PowerShell instance here. And let's see if that worked. So Unity help. And here we go. It says, allow Unity CLI to collect anonymous usage data to help improve the product. Let's say no for now. And let's try one of the other commands here. Unity editors list. Editors list. And so I have a few different versions here. Can probably clear out some of these. And then it's got platforms listed. Now I'd like to try to get something done within the Unity editor itself. So let's go ahead and look through the rest of this help here. The commands are analytics, sign in, sign out, report a bug, build a project. And then there's an option here for MCP. So there's an MCP server and client configuration for the Unity editor. So this might be how we get it connected to a coding harness. And I can show the live state of every connected Unity editor. So let's try that. I don't have Unity running right now. No Unity editor instances found with the pipeline package installed. So go ahead and do that, or run Unity pipeline install. See what happens if we do that. No Unity editors running. Okay, so let's get that going. So I created a new project using Unity 6, which was one of the prerequisites of this CLI. And it's just a 3D URP project. So now I have the Unity editor opened up, and I've got the command line here. So let's try that command again. So it did find a single Unity editor instance, and the project was validated. It installed the pipeline package to the project, and it resolved the latest version from the Unity registry. And the installation is complete. The Unity editor will resolve the package when the project is opened. That's interesting because the project is open, and it seemed like it was required to be open in order to use the CLI. So there's kind of a chicken and egg scenario here. And of course, when I change focus back to Unity, it looks like it has identified that the package was installed, so it's recompiling. So down here it says, editor is not in automated mode. Modal pop-up might break continuous command workflow. Start the editor with -automated. So let's see what happens if I try to interact with the editor right now. So if I do a Unity status command, looks like it has identified which project I have running. Let's try the MCP server. Waiting for client to connect. Connect via Claude Desktop, Cursor, VS Code, or the MCP inspector. So I'd like to connect my coding harness, which right now is Codex, to the Unity MCP server. So let's see if we can get some options for doing that. So it says here, MCP options and command. You can configure it for Claude and show all the supported clients. So let's run that command. And it's got a few here. And sure enough, there's Codex. So let's go ahead and do configure Codex. And it says configured OpenAI Codex. I relaunched Codex, and I don't see the MCP server here. However, Unity says that it modified this file. So when I take a look at that, here's what it added. And when I look that up, it seems like the syntax might not be accurate. So let's see if we can modify it. This is the suggested format, which deviates from what this Unity CLI created. But let's go ahead and try to relaunch Codex now. And now when I go to plugins, I do see Unity here. So hopefully that did it. So back in my project, let's ask, can you connect to the Unity MCP server? Okay, and it did see that I'm connected and I've got this project, and it says editor is ready, play mode is stopped, and compiling no. So let's go ahead and say, please make a cube at coordinates. All right, I see a cube has been inserted, and there we go. Let's see. Increase the scale to all right, and so I have to, of course, regain focus in Unity for the update to appear, but the connection seems to be there, so that's good. Now, you could use Codex or Claude with Unity projects before, but it's nice to have an MCP server. I think there were some previous attempts at Unity MCP servers, but I didn't try any of them, so this one seems to work fine. Now let's try another command that's not related to editing the scene. So I'll say enter play mode in Unity. All right, looks like it's entered play mode. And it's stopped. So in general, you're probably not going to want to burn AI tokens just to start and stop the editor or to create cubes. And likewise, you're probably not going to want to delegate tasks of a creative nature to these coding harnesses. So there may be a narrow set of tasks that they're suited for, and I might explore that in future videos. But for now, I'll leave it there. So thanks for watching and have a great day.